My idea is for what I think a car of the future should be. I'm going to start with the problem with the current car. So if an alien were to look at people and describe their average workday, basically people get in a giant oversized metal box that weighs like 1.5 tons. They go 30 miles. They twiddle their fingers next to a bunch of other people in an office. And then they get in a giant metal box, and then they drive home. And then every day they repeat that. So it's ridiculous. A car is a giant metal box. It's about 4 times as big as it needs to be, which is a waste of space and energy and everything else. And I was thinking, a lot of people think Uber is going to solve problems with the efficiency of cars, and I think Uber and public transportation are bullshit because basically they're asking you to sacrifice privacy and convenience to save part of the energy wasted in a normal full-size car. That's basically how I would describe Uber. So you have all that extra space in the car, all the extra car seats you're not using. So an Uber driver uses one of those seats to move a stranger around.
But the Uber driver's not going there anyhow. They're only going there because the passengers go there.
So it's not that much of a... It's still a waste of energy. It's asking you to wait around.
It's a little more efficient than a taxi because there's lots more drivers, so you're getting somebody very local. That's my understanding.
But,
all right.
Still, basically, you're taking a flawed model, which is the huge tin can 4-person car,
right,
and you're cutting away part of the inefficiency of that. But you're making it more annoying. You have to wait for the Uber driver, whatever. The other thing about Uber that I don't like, in that like people say all cars would be self-driving Uber cars, nobody will own cars. I think that's bullshit because inconvenience is still there. Plus, people don't care for things they don't own. They're sort of shitty to things they don't own. So if there's a bunch of unmanned Uber cars floating around, people are going to vomit in them. They're going to piss in them. We're going to need to hire like a hotel room every day. They need to scrub that thing for a half hour.
Spiffy up the Uber.
And that's after one person has been in it. So we're going to need to hire all these maids to clean the Uber cars.
What if we just put bathrooms in the cars?
I think Tom's telling us more about his personal habits than anything else.
The other thing about public transportation is that if I make it in comedy, do I want to go to L.A. or New York? If you're going to go to New York, you're basically walking around, you're using the subway. What if you shart? What if you shit your pants? You have to walk by 50,000 people to get back to your house.
So for that reason you choose L.A.?
Yeah. So you want the privacy of your own vehicle. Just think about...
No, I think that's good.
And people complain...
Strategy on where you live is great.
But people complain about how New York, you see people vomit and you see people piss in the alley and whatever.
Yeah. Tom, I'm sorry, I think I have to give you the same advice that I give our 6-year-old. Never force a fart, man. Yeah. Just let it come.
Yeah.
But like, some of those people are just bums and they're gross. But if you think about, in your lifetime, the odds that you're going to shart at least once, or you're going to have to piss and you're not going to be able to make it to the bathroom at least once, are pretty high, or at least 50-50. If you look at how many days you have in a lifetime, it's maybe...
Ted's almost done with his days.
It's maybe...
Yeah, I know.
Have you done it, Ted?
I have never shit my pants in my car ever. I've had those days when everything's flexing and ready to go, and I'm like sweating trying to get home.
I like how he qualifies it in my car.
But it's like...
Well, I thought it was in an Uber car. I don't know.
Or out in public or at work, where you would have to go home afterwards. And so you'd have to get in an Uber car with a bunch of strangers with shit in your pants and suffer that humiliation. Why would anybody want a society where there's no privacy, where the most embarrassing moment of your life just gets prolonged like that? Don't you want your own private transportation to avoid that scenario?
I think I'm just going to go with depends.
Just in case? So you'd wear it every day just for that one day in your life where that might happen?
Yeah. A high price to pay. Yeah, I think so. I don't
but
somebody pooped in my pants once, but it wasn't me.
Anyway, so basically, I don't like public transportation. I don't like Uber because there's no privacy leading to that type of scenario, possibly. And people don't care for things that aren't theirs.
Right.
It's only exploiting part of the weakness of a more modern car as far as energy efficiency. So the ideal car
Solution.
be a single-person car. And basically, it'd be small enough to drive it right into a doorway.
You're talking about a Segway.
So the future car would be like a cross between a Segway and a motorcycle.
You have to stand?
The console, the inside of the car where you would be in, would be like an egg shape sort of thing.
Did you watch Mork and Mindy growing up?
No.
It's energy efficient.
It doesn't have to be,
Cuts the wind.
or it's rectangular shape like a phone booth shape. And so it would have the steering wheel in it, and it would have like the feet pedals in there. I'm assuming eventually it'd be self-driving, but for now you're driving it like a real car. And it would have, instead of having a constant windshield there, it'd be able to fold up and down like the visor for a helmet.
Oh.
And so on the two sides of it, it'd have like a round thing to attach it to the body of the car. The body of the car would be able to switch between being flat, like on four wheels, and upright on two wheels. So when you went really fast, it'd be on four wheels. It'd be like a motorcycle or a tricycle or whatever.
I think it sounds great.
And then, well, this is the ideal car.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if it's
Oh.
practical.
Oh, no, I
This
think-
probably isn't yet,
No,
but
it
it will
is.
be eventually. So then, when you want to go indoors and you want to go slow and you want to treat it like a Segway, it'll be able to go upright on two wheels. That's the outside of the car. The egg part that you're sitting in would always be upright. So that would remain stationary in height, and then the rest of the car would move around you. Where the headlights are, there'd be maybe another two set of wheels, so it would be on four wheels when you're upright.
But there'd be an enclosure, so if it rains out, I'm not getting wet, right?
Well, you have the windshield that'll fold down.
Yeah,
So-
and a roof of some sort.
Yeah, and the roof of the egg.
Okay,
So
I'm in. I'm sold.
when you're upright, the windshield part would just go down to nothing. But when it's on all fours, it would attach to the front of the car, so it would make a seal. That would be the design of the car. The battery could go basically anywhere where there's extra space. It could go in the egg, and then
It's battery operated.
it'd be a electric car. And part of the reason that it would be electric is that if you're going to drive it indoors, you don't want exhaust fumes all over the place, murdering
Oh.
people.
That's a good feature.
Well, maybe you do if you're a
The
psycho, but
non-murdering car. That'd be
Overly
top,
not.
yes. By the way, our car will not kill you. Oh, thank you.
so another benefit of this, if it can go upright, it can go in the house, so you don't need a garage. So you can save. You think about the biggest expenditure of your life is your house, and like 1/8 of that expense is the garage. That expense can just go away.
Because this goes right in the living room.
So you're saving money. It'd go right in the living room or next to your cubicle at work.
You could have a seat that just
You
flips
could
around.
take
It
it
could be
right
like
up
a
an
lazy
elevator
boy.
or up the stairs because it would have the four wheels when it's in upright, and they could sort of climb up certain types of stairs. Not all stairs, but like the standard size
Could I sleep in this thing? Do I ever have to get out of this?
Yes, you have to get out of it. You might be able to take it into a bathroom stall,
Well,
though.
maybe it would have a built-in toilet.
It's small.
So you have it attached to a pipe.
So is my penis. But like along Ted's line, I mean, there's lots of times where people get trashed and then they just fall asleep in their clothes and wake up in their clothes the next morning. I mean, could you do that in this?
I don't see why not.
There's actually a car that is like a two-seater car that kind of does that and goes up on two wheels, and it hooks together on the highway. And so you just kind of join a car, and then the line of cars is split apart for you to exit, and then it goes back together. So you don't have to drive; you just sit there and get towed.
Wow.
And yeah, it's kind of like my idea.
Sorry.
I think Ted's talking about trolleys.
You ruined my idea. It's been done before. You crushed my spirit.
Sorry. Well, I was going to show you the.
So another thought about my car idea. When people invented the car, they didn't have giant skyscrapers and mega work complexes like the Pentagon or the giant Apple building. It's like a half-mile long. So maybe you have a 20-minute drive and a 20-minute walk through the goddamn building.
Yes.
So the benefit of this is, well, you can take it into the building, and drive. Another thing, I hate elevators. Elevators are basically the same as an Uber or a public transportation. You have to wait for it, just like you have to wait for an Uber car. It's equivalent of a vertical road where there's road construction and the cop is making it so you can only go one way at a time.
I agree.
And it's got the privacy issue, but who cares? I mean, you're not in the elevator that long. Chances of sharding in the elevator are pretty low.
That seems to be a top concern of yours.
Yeah.
And so the solution is?
So the solution is no more elevators. The self-driving car can attach maybe to the wall of the elevator shaft and go up and down.
Oh, you ride up in your car.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so you could take like the width of the standard elevator shaft. You could have 4 cars going in that space in the vertical position.
You could
2
just have
going up and 2
Yeah.
going down. You'd have like 2 lanes of traffic going
Yeah.
up, 2 lanes going
Leave
down.
it wide open, just drive in, hook up, and you're just the next car going up. That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd save a lot of time, especially in like big, huge skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And the other benefit of that is like when there's an emergency, they make you walk down the stairs because the elevator might shut down.
Yeah.
In this case, since all of you are using your own cars that are powered, then the power will still be there even if there's a building emergency. And so people will be able to evacuate using the high-speed evacuation method of their
Oh.
cars instead of trying to walk down the stairs and all dying in a hotel fire.
So the elevator chute is going to have like some kind of track, and your car's going to have some kind of gears that engage the track and make your car crawl up the
Yeah.
building.
And the other thing is, too, if somebody's car somehow stalls and if it doesn't fall to fiery death, which hopefully there'll be things in place to prevent that, if it gets stuck, since it can climb upstairs, the people going up, they see that it's stuck, they get off a floor below, they take their car up the stairs past the one that's stuck, and then they go
'cause of
keep
those
going
stairs,
up.
yeah.
Or if since there's 2 lanes, they just go in the other lane and keep going up. So
Perfect.
energy efficient, private, cheaper, no garage. All the wasted space of parking lots would go away too.
And if you shit your pants, you're all alone.
If you shit your pants, you're all alone.
Does
So
it have a
privacy.
spare pants compartment?
If you want there to be one, you can.
That's an option.
Yeah.
That's an accessory.
And it makes transportation quicker in a building and up an elevator. So it's the ideal future car.
I think it's ready to be submitted to somebody. I think that's great.
So would you have, for like people that are 4 feet tall and people that are 7 feet tall, would you have different sized cars?
No.
No.
Well, maybe. What I was thinking
They could be expandable.
is when it's in its upright position, your head would be sort of where the average person's head height is when they're standing up.
Yeah. Can you lay down in this thing? Can it like go horizontal?
No.
Say if you have a date. What if you have a date and you want to take the date and you want to like go parking or something?
It's a
Can you, like-
1-person car, right?
It's a 1-person car.
Yeah, but I mean, on a date she's going to be really close anyhow. I mean, how small can it possibly be? It's not a form-fitting car. I can get her in there, can't I?
You could maybe put her on your lap or something.
Well, that's the point.
It's not a good
I think that should be the
car for
accessory. I think
having
we should-
sex in.
Well, I don't know. At my age, any car is a good car.
Yeah, you could like take it into a closet somewhere private.
I kind
You
of like
could,
public. I kind of like passing people while I'm doing it. Matter of fact, I think it would be kind of thrilling. What was that?
Where were we? So anyway, you'd be sitting, so your head would be like standing height. So like if you were really small, maybe you'd have it somehow configure so it raises you up higher. And then like down below your feet would be where the electric motor would be. So it would be in the very front of the car when it's on 4 wheels, and it would be on the bottom of the car when it's in its upright position.
I think that's great.
And the battery would basically be everywhere where there's extra space.
Right.
Behind you, in the egg-shaped compartment, sort of around the electric motor,
Right.
maybe above your head a little bit. Maybe the whole body. Just
whole body is.
You can just
could
shove
be
batteries
lithium
anywhere.
all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole container is lined with lithium.
Yeah, I've seen like things on the internet where people wanted to actually make things where the whole content of the body of it is battery.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.